Darkness Master.
December 15th, darkness rises and light to meet it. I won't let them win! Rated PG-13.
Hello everyone, Ramon Azab here, aka Remon, coming at you with another Star Wars video. This time again, we're going to be doing a little bit of an unorthodox video. I'm going to be doing a review of the movie Star Wars The Last Jedi. Okay, now, I've never done a movie review before, but I am pretty passionate about this particular film series. As you can imagine, being an avid player of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the game, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the film overall, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. I've now had an opportunity to see the film twice, okay, and I've formulated a pretty good opinion about, the movie. Just as a warning, just want to let everybody know, again, this is a spoiler warning. Your first and only warning is going to be a spoiler warning, just to let you know that I'm going to be discussing, the Star Wars The Last Jedi here. We're going to be discussing, things occur throughout the movie, and I'm not going to be, kind of holding back any thoughts or feelings about that. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, definitely go check that out and then come back and watch the video later. But for those of you that have seen the movie and, would like to get my opinions on it, overall, I'm not going to say that I hate the movie or I love the movie. I'm still, even after seeing it a second time, kind of in the middle about it. I was actually really not liking the movie the first time I saw it. I'm glad I saw it a second time now because I have a lot more of a respect for it now as a film. But I'm still upset that they didn't do certain things that I thought they would do. Now, it's kind of weird to say because, again, I feel like after seeing it a second time, I appreciate the movie a lot more. But I had such high expectations for the characters coming into the second film of the new trilogy that I was just kind of thrown back by the fact that they decided to go the route that they decided to go. Now, going into this movie, we had lots of questions. Okay, first of all, Supreme Leader Snoke. Who is he, right? Where does he come from? Is he a Sith? Is he like an old Jedi? Is he Mace Windu? I mean, who knows, right? But who is Supreme Leader Snoke? The Knights of Ren, number 2, right? Like, where do the Knights of Ren come from? Are they, part of the Jedi that broke off with Kylo Ren from Luke's temple? Are they the ones that we see in that flashback with Rey? Are those the Knights of Ren? We don't know, right? Okay, number 3, Rey's parents, right? Like, who are they? Okay, why is she special? Why does she have these Force abilities? Where do they come from? Number 4, what's the overarching theme here? I mean, are we going towards like gray Jedi? Are there going to be no Jedi? I mean, Luke even says in the trailer for the film, the Jedi have to end, right? And we know that we've seen some pictures of the movie in the trailer showing the Journal of the Wills or the book, the texts of the original Jedi. And, kind of maybe explain or broaden the mythology of where the Jedi originally came from. Maybe explain that the Jedi were originally gray, and they weren't only practicing the light side of the Force, but they were actually practicing both the light and the dark, and there was kind of a balance, right? Which is what the Force is all about. It's about balance. So you kind of feel like that's the direction they were going to go in. And not one of those things were either explained or really, touched upon in a satisfying manner. Okay, so now you could argue that Rey's parents were touched on or explained, and the fact that she doesn't have any special parents, that she's just some girl that grew up on Jakku, and her parents were alcoholics or drug addicts or whatever, like just bad parents, and they died somewhere on Jakku, and she's a nobody. I don't know whether that's true or not, but Rey was the one that said it. I mean, Kylo didn't say it himself. He got Rey to admit that she's always known that her parents were came from nothing and that she's not special. So I mean, it seems like that's true. But who Snoke is, No idea. Even after watching the movie twice, I have no idea where this guy came from, where he got his Force abilities, where was he the whole time during the original trilogy and the prequels. How did he sway Kylo Ren to the dark side? I mean, how does this guy, who's literally just telling you, kill your parents, I mean, how does he convince him to not be a Jedi? I mean, you have Luke Skywalker, the hero of the galaxy, on one end. I mean, you have Supreme Leader Snoke, right? Some guy who, I mean, just looks evil. I mean, you look at the guy, and he doesn't exude happiness. Let's just put it that way. Okay, you look at Supreme Leader Snoke, and you think, this guy's up to no good, right? And somehow he convinced Kylo Ren, don't follow Luke, the legendary Jedi, follow me, right? And, and he ends up, following Supreme Leader Snoke, killing Han Solo, and going against his master. That guy must be a hell of a salesman, right? I mean, he must have a super awesome pitch. I mean, what did he do to sway Kylo to the dark side? I would love to know. And they don't explain it really at all. Now, I mean, we know that, Luke has this scene with Kylo in the movie where it looks like Luke is considering killing Kylo in the middle of the night, which is the exact opposite of what Luke Skywalker would do in that circumstance. I mean, for at least the Luke that I know from the original trilogy, would not do that, right? I mean, Luke would assess the situation, maybe talk to Kylo before deciding to try to stab him in the middle of the night with a lightsaber. I don't know, just maybe have a conversation, I mean, this is a guy who went to the Death Star, into the heart of the dragon, to talk to his father, who is next to the Emperor, the most evil person in the galaxy, because he feels deep down that there's a light in him, that he would be willing to turn, and that he would turn for his son, right? Because he has that much faith in the Force and his father, and in doing the right thing, that he doesn't want to kill his dad. This guy who's killed thousands, if not, I mean, I don't know how many people he's killed, but Darth Vader's killed a lot of people. Okay, he was a bad guy. He killed younglings. I mean, we saw that, right? I mean, he killed little kids. He's a bad guy, okay? But Luke saw the good in him and wanted to save him, okay? Cut to 30 years later, a wiser Luke wants to kill his little nephew because he feels like he's starting to turn to the dark side. I don't know. That just seems like two polar opposites to me, right? Like you have a guy who's willing to go to extreme lengths to save his dad, who's already proven to be a villain, to now a guy who's contemplating killing his nephew in his sleep because he feels like maybe he might be starting to lean towards the dark side. I don't know. That's not the Luke that I thought we were going to get in this movie, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. I thought that we were going to get a heroic Luke, maybe a Luke that had, grown some self-doubt because he failed with Kylo, and Kylo turned to the dark side, and maybe he was kind of a reluctant Luke Skywalker, maybe that something like that. But I didn't think we were going to get, a Luke that wanted to go to an island to die, and he basically parted ways with Kylo on an attempt to kill his own nephew because he felt like he might turn to the dark side. So now you actually sympathize with Kylo a little bit, which is weird because, I mean, Kylo is still totally evil, right? I mean, like, even though, he kind of holds off on killing his mom at that part. I mean, he doesn't shoot Leia with the blasters, but he's definitely not, like, crying about it afterwards. And I mean, as far as he's concerned, his mom he just watched his mom get shot. And also, excuse me, I mean, he's not upset with these guys for taking the shot and really doesn't give any other thought to it. Okay, then, I mean, this same guy, without batting an eyelash, kills his own master, Supreme Leader Snoke, which is another thing that you don't expect to happen in this movie. And that's the other thing. I mean, Supreme Leader Snoke, again, don't know where he comes from, don't know how he got to kind of turn Kylo Ren to the dark side, and then he dies before we get any of these answers. Just gets halved with a lightsaber, right in half, cut, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand how they could introduce such a powerful Force user like Supreme Leader Snoke. I mean, this guy throws Rey in the air like this with one hand and steals all of her experiences in the last couple of months or days or whatever while she's with Luke, and just takes them all from her head. And then he knows exactly where Luke is. He knows like what she's been doing on the island the whole time. All this, like throwing around, like she tries to take the lightsaber from him. He like throws it around and bangs her, whacks her in the back of the head with it, and then just takes it for himself, puts it next to him. And, he's shooting, like, force electricity off, like, he's shooting, like, force lightning off the ground. Like, it's nuts. I mean, he was across the galaxy, like force, force, like, kind of like, force pushing, General Hux. So, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this guy is super powerful. We've never seen a guy this powerful before. I mean, even, before the movie, Andy Serkis is saying that he's supposed to be stronger than Palpatine or Darth Vader combined. I mean, how do you build that up and then not give any payoff on the guy? Not explain where this guy came from? Why is there such a powerful Force user that we've never seen before? I don't know. I just feel like that's something we would have heard. That's a guy we would have heard of in the galaxy. A guy who can, shoot lightning from the ground and, just throw people in the air. I mean, not even Yoda would be able to pick somebody up that easily without even thinking about it. I mean, he's super powerful, but no explanation on the guy, gets cut in half, and that's the end of Supreme Leader Snoke. So, again, it's an unorthodox approach to a character that's supposed to be like the overarching villain of the story. So I guess in that respect, it's interesting because I totally did not expect them to kill like what would be the equivalent of the Emperor in the second movie of the trilogy, right? Like I would have totally thought they were going to save that till Episode 9, to some like super ultimate battle between him and Luke Skywalker. That would be what you would expect to happen. Now, would I have been happy with that? Absolutely. Now, am I upset about it? I kind of feel like I'm never going to get the opportunity to see like a really awesome Luke Skywalker battle, and that really upsets me. I feel like it would be cool to have at least seen one like old man Luke fight with, these Force abilities that he must have now, with the power that he must have now after all these years of, training and kind of honing his skills, going, looking for the first Jedi temple and reading their texts. And I mean, I was expecting this like super strong with the Force Luke to kind of come back and save the day, and then maybe die trying, or at least leave some sort of a legacy for Rey or Kylo to kind of take the mantle of going forward. But they chose to go in a different direction. And again, it's understandable. I feel like for the story, it made it an interesting story. But again, for the fan that really wanted to see super badass Luke, we didn't get that. Now, again, the Knights of Ren, don't explain that at all. We never even hear the word knights in the movie. They don't say anything about it. It's as if Kylo Ren's Knights of Ren don't exist. I mean, they don't even mention it. So that's probably not something we're ever going to hear about again. Rey's parents are just some junkies that died, so we don't get an answer on that. So she's just some random that has Force abilities. She's not born of the Force. She's not Obi-Wan Kenobi's daughter. She's not Luke's daughter. She's not Han and Leia's daughter. She's just Rey, without a last name. Then they kind of started hinting towards Rey and Finn having a thing, right? Like in the last movie, like it kind of seemed like maybe Rey and Finn were meant to be at some point. I don't know, because they're always asking about each other. They're always looking for each other. And that's kind of what they hint at. Then, in this movie, Finn has another love interest. So, I mean, I don't know, what gives? I was very surprised with the choices that they made. And now I'm kind of left with a situation where I don't know what to expect or what to really look forward to in the last movie. I mean, everybody is dead, right? Snoke's dead. Luke's dead. Akbar, dead. We know Carrie Fisher died last year in real life, so Leia has to die. She can't be in the new movie, right? So Leia's dead. Also, Han's dead. Phasma's dead. I mean, anybody of any significance, any new characters that you were really looking forward to finding out their backstory or like where they came from is dead. So I don't know what we have to look forward to in the next film, like what overarching storyline are we really trying to close here? I mean, it just seems like we're going to go into the last movie for them to find some interesting way to have Kylo Ren and Rey fight again in some sort of a lightsaber battle at the end. And maybe it'll end up being interesting, like maybe like, Rey will turn to the dark side or something at the end. It'll be some sort of unexpected ending, maybe a dark ending, which would be cool, given the circumstances. But that's really all there is. I have no questions or mysteries going into the last movie like I did going into this movie. Going into this movie, I was thinking to myself, like I said, all those questions we discussed earlier, like who's Rey's parents and who are the Knights of Ren. I have no questions like that going into this movie. I just wonder how are Rey and Kylo going to eventually fight again, or where is it going to happen? Maybe, will we see a Luke Force ghost in the last movie? That's really all I'm thinking about now. Maybe we'll see Anakin or something like that. That would be cool, seeing Hayden Christensen come back. But another thing they did that was really cool was they had Yoda in the film. So, again, Yoda being in the movie, awesome. They even used like the original puppet Yoda from the original trilogy instead of going with the CGI Yoda from the prequels. So that was cool. You got him kind of sitting in front of that Jedi tree on Ahch-To, talking to Luke and explaining to Luke that it's time to let it go. And they introduced some new Force powers in this, which I didn't expect to see, and which kind of changed the mythology behind Force ghosts. So Yoda, it looks like, actually summoned some sort of lightning from the sky and actually burned the tree down. Now, if that's actually possible, then that means that Luke essentially could come back and fight again at some point, right? Because, I mean, we've never seen a Force ghost affect the physical plane in any way. It's never happened. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, maybe there is this point where Force ghosts can actually come back and fight. Maybe Luke can actually come back and be a part of the last movie. I don't know. But it's something we've never seen before. And also the connection between Rey and Kylo Ren. We've never seen anything like that before, where they can see each other. So that's kind of interesting too. They've introduced some new abilities. What Leia did, using the Force and coming back to the ship. A lot of people hate that. I'm not really that upset. It is kind of ridiculous. It is kind of ridiculous. Okay, she did literally just like, she just like pulled herself back to the ship. Leia is supposed to be strong with the Force like Luke. She's Luke's twin. So, it's not as ridiculous as I think everybody's making it out to be. I'm more upset about other things. I feel like that's very small on the scale of things that, should have either not happened or happened in this movie. I think that's not a big deal. I feel like you could explain that away a million times over before you can explain away, not explaining who Snoke is, or why he died so fast, or how he seduced Kylo, or why Luke thought about killing Kylo. There's so many things that just run through your mind when you see all these things or hear all these things, and you think to yourself, like, man, this is totally not what I expected. And like I said, for the parts that you don't expect, and watching it just as a movie in general, in that respect, it is a good film, because it is unexpected. It is different. It's not like every other Star Wars movie. They did take risks here, and because of those risks, people are going to be upset about it no matter what. But on the other hand, as a Star Wars fanboy, like just really waiting a long time now to see some really cool Luke Skywalker lightsaber action, I'm upset. I'm a little upset. I'm a little sad, because I thought I would get to see that in my lifetime, and maybe I will in some other form of media. Maybe they'll have like some movie in between episode 6 and episode 7, and we'll see a Luke Skywalker cool fight, like when he's in his prime or something like that. Maybe something like that. Well, they'll have a recast Mark Hamill or something, or recast Luke Skywalker. But again, I was really looking forward to that in this movie. I kind of wanted to see like a really powerful, like Yoda-esque lightsaber Luke, or sorry, not like old man Luke, and we didn't get that. So again, my feelings on the movie, I'm kind of split. I feel like it's a good movie. I'm always excited to see a new Star Wars film. I watched it 2 times already. I'm probably going to watch it again before it's all out of the theaters, and I'll love and cherish it just like I do any of the other Star Wars movies. I feel like it'll be a part of the story, and I accept it. It's fine. I feel like there were some things that I really wanted to see that I'm never going to get to see now, and as a fanboy, I'm a little sad about it, But there was a lot of cool things that they did. Like I said, they had Yoda in the movie. I think the great things to look at the movie, like the great takeaways from the movie, are the relationship that they built together between Kylo Ren and Rey. I think that was really awesome. I think that the dynamic between them now is much stronger than it was in The Force Awakens. I feel like they're like much more interesting characters now. Like I'm super excited to see their progression in the next film. That's something I actually am excited to see because, again, I'm much more invested in the Kylo Ren and Rey characters now than I was before. I feel like they're a lot cooler now. They have a lot more going for them, and they're a lot more interesting. There's a lot more depth behind those characters than there was before. Obviously showing that Force ghosts are still a thing and something important in the series is cool. Hoping that we'll get to see maybe a Luke Skywalker Force ghost in the next film. There was also some cool, throwbacks. Seeing R2-D2, show that little clip of Leia from A New Hope, where she's asking, Obi-Wan Kenobi for help to Luke. That kind of got me a little sad for a second there. It kind of felt like it kind of touched my heart there a little bit. that was kind of sad, but at the same time, it was kind of cool to see them do something like that. So overall, like I said, glad to see the movie. Glad there's a new Star Wars movie out. Christmas time, it's that time of year, and looking forward to more of these coming. Over the next couple of years. With the new, trilogy coming, also the new television series they're talking about. I'm sure they'll have a new cartoon coming out after Rebels ends its season 4 later on this year. So there's a lot of cool Star Wars time, coming up, and this is really the greatest time to be a Star Wars fan. So I'm excited about all that stuff. But again, I feel like there were some things I would have loved to have seen in this movie that we didn't get, and that's never going to change. But overall, like I said, I love it and I hate it. I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie. I'm not going to say it's the worst movie because I feel kind of like in the middle about it. So that's what I'm going to say. I feel like, I'd say I'm kind of in between on the movie overall. Maybe that'll change. Maybe a year from now I'll feel differently about it. But right now, this is just how I feel. Anyway, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'll be on the live show this weekend. We're going to do one on the day before Christmas Eve. So we'll do one probably on Saturday night. And, may the Force be with you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for checking it out.
Yes, Master.